Good evening. Happy Thursday. Chris, we got Bill backstage. We'll bring him on in just a second. But I want to apologize to everybody.
Let him sit there.
I want to apologize to everybody. We've been a little spotty. We've been a little spotty the past couple of weeks, but we've all been surviving car accidents and hurricanes and all sorts of fun stuff. It's been
concussion protocols. Yeah, it has been.
But we're back with a vengeance. And I think we probably picked the best week possible to be back because everybody's feeling down after losing to Vanderbilt. And we got to talk about it. And that's where we're going to start. We're going to talk a little bit about recruiting later. We're going to talk about South Carolina. But we're going to start with Vandy. And when we do that, we're going to bring in Bill, who looks like he's got his dogs. There he is. Hey, Bill. How you doing? What is happening?
How are y'all?
I think they're taxidermy.
Yeah, are those real dogs?
Those are my babies. They decided they wanted to join the show tonight.
Okay. I mean, cool.
Roll Tide, C-Dub.
C-Dub. Happy to have you in here.
C-Dub.
You guys know the drill. Before we do anything, we got to pay some bills. Let me find the video. Yeah. Please do me a favor and like, subscribe. If you heart the video, spam it. Just 100 hearts. That also helps us out. Share us to your social media. Tell everybody about us. Hey, come see these guys. They're old, ridiculous, but they're funny sometimes. So that's our value. That's where we fit in to the Alabama social media crowd. But we want to talk about Vanderbilt. What went well? What went wrong? I will be the first to admit that I was out of town for that game. I was watching it on my phone, bits and pieces of it. About halfway through the second quarter, I kind of got a feeling.
Where were you at?
I was in Orlando. I was at Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah, that's there's a problem right there.
Why?
You're the only gump that didn't stay home and watch a game.
It worked in my favor. I'm just saying. I want to get your thoughts on this game. What did Alabama do wrong? What happened? Are Alabama fans blowing this one out of proportion? Make sure you tell us in the chat. We'll post your comments up here. I haven't brought myself to go back and rewatch the game because what I saw, especially defensively, wasn't good. But about halfway through that second quarter, I got a phone call from JR, and he said, "Hey, man, what do you think?" And I was like, "We're going to lose this football game." And you guys know I do that anytime Bama's not playing well, but it was a serious, we can't stop them. We can't get our defense off the field. They're going to outscore us. We're going to lose this game. And I was right. We did. Obviously, everybody knows the defense played poorly. Vanderbilt.
Right.
I want to start here. College football as a whole, and I've been talking about this for months, and people keep telling me I'm ridiculous. College football is evolving quickly because of NIL and the transfer portal. Okay? The level of play is more equal all the way. That's why Alabama can go beat Georgia one week and then lose to Vanderbilt the next. The level of play across the board is leveling out and it's becoming a much more competitive league. Everybody keeps going, well, with NIL and transfer portal, we're headed to like an NFL model. Well, you are in terms of what happens on the field too. Okay. Bingo. Now, that's not to echo AJ McCarron. Alabama should have run Vanderbilt out of the building. I think that there was like an emotional kind of letdown after the Georgia game.
Yeah.
And Vandy ran that, modified wishbone, which I'm going to tell you guys right now. I know a lot of people are unhappy with Kane Womack. There are plenty of coordinators and head coaches that would struggle with that offense. Nick Saban struggled with a version of that offense in 2011 when Georgia Southern came to Tuscaloosa. They put up 300 yards on the ground.
Shit through a tin horn.
That's exactly what he said.
So was it 360 yards rushing in that game that we gave up?
Yeah, something like that.
It was an extraordinary amount of rushing yards. And I've got some breakdown thoughts on what went right, what went wrong when you want me to get there.
All right, Chris.
That comment right there.
Well,
they didn't. And I'll be honest, some of the comments coming out in the aftermath of this have bothered me with, Malachi Moore kind of putting some of it on Womack's shoulders, saying, hey, we're not getting the play call so late. Sure, if that's happening, let's get that tightened up and fixed, but let's not put it out there to everybody. Chris,
we all know that what I do.
No, your audio was being funky. You're good. Go ahead.
Well, here, let me fix it. Let me tune it a little bit. Is that better?
Yeah. Did you tune it to a G?
Much.
Yeah, I went to a C.
Okay.
I have my own thoughts about Malachi. His apology was written by someone else.
I'm sure it was.
He was told, hey, you need to post this to your social, say this, and say this. If it was up to me, he'd be sitting on the bench this week.
Explain yourself. I don't think you can do that, man. I think you can,
because I'm sorry, when you act like a toddler.
I'll go first.
No. When he acts the way he did.
So,
I wish the SEC would have stepped in and said, you know what? Here, let's prove a point.
Man.
Because number one, it was, to me, it's disrespectful to the officials.
I don't care about it.
I don't give a shit either, but still.
And the game.
And then when the coaches tried to pull him out, and he does what he does, he'd be on the bench.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but
there's no room for disrespect. I'm sorry.
So here,
go ahead, Bill.
So here's my thing.
Bill, the table's yours, buddy.
All right, I know they're handling it internally. And they're continuing to handle it internally. And to quote Coach DeBoer, he came to him like a man after the game. I've got to apologize to you and the team. Got it. Yes, he did. What he did was public. And you handle public offenses with public payment. And the way you do that, now Malachi is a stand-up guy. 5th year on the team, 2-year captain, never steps out of line, doesn't get crazy speeding tickets or running over people or
you had to take a shot at
DVs. So the perfect guy to discipline is the perfect guy because hey, he's not above the law, and he did it publicly. He did 4 things on the field. He threw his mouthpiece. He kicked the football. He cussed his buddies, and he told the coaches to go stick it up their butt.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
I get it.
You can be okay with it.
You can be okay with it all you want. Yeah, he showed passion, and he was intense and all that with 16 seconds to go in the dang game.
That's my problem.
There you go.
Where was that the whole game, man? Where was that the entire game?
And as a captain, why weren't you firing up everybody else on the dang field to stop this weird-ass triple option hybrid?
Yeah.
Look, man, here's my thing about Malachi Moore. No, here's my thing about it. I don't care. Like, let's not say – I understand, well, the integrity of the game this, the integrity of the game that. The game lost its integrity when we started openly paying players, okay? There's nothing integral about college football anymore. It's all monetary. And that in itself means you can't be integral. But in terms of what he did on that, he was pissed off, man. Nick Saban has established an expectation in Tuscaloosa, not just on the team and for the program, but for the fan base as well. That's why fans are taking it.
It's not just Nick. it's 100 years of that expectation that we play to a certain level. We play to a certain. We are Alabama. We're not East Alabama Tech, and the puppies are going crazy. Mute.
Look, man. Listen. He was pissed. He was upset.
You know what? You want me to tell you what caused it?
Sure.
He got his ass burned on 4th and 1. That's what caused it.
Probably got embarrassed on national television. But here's the thing, man. Malachi Moore is the glue in a very young and put together secondary. You've got guys who are all freshmen, and then the guys who aren't are coming from other places, right? Malachi Moore, and I said this preseason, Malachi Moore is not great in coverage. He's more of a run defense kind of guy. He reminds me a lot of Landon Collins.
He's solid, and we love him.
And I'm not crapping on him. I love what he did. I love what he did because
but where was it in the second quarter?
Since that Georgia game, right? All you've seen is crap about Hollywood Williams and his eye black, and they've got this attitude, which I like, but at the same time, it got away from the team. And Malachi Moore is trying to help out his head coaches by reeling that in. But I agree with you guys. It should have been done earlier in the game. I don't think it would have mattered because Alabama's defense wasn't getting off the field on 3rd down. That's the biggest thing for me. They can't get off the field on 3rd down. But I don't have a problem with the attitude. What's up, Herb, Raj? I don't have an attitude. I don't have an issue with the attitude. Obviously, you can't be going around kicking balls when the refs are trying to spot them and stuff like that. It's kind of funny, man. But I saw it.
Okay, all right. Let me ask you this. Here's what I want to ask every Gump. I want to ask you, Bill, and everyone watching. If we were watching,
dropping crap, man.
That's got to be so. Yeah. If we were watching, let's just say we were watching Arkansas and Auburn.
Yeah, I'd be like,
but you'd be like, he shouldn't act that way, right? Come on,
yes, we would.
Come on, yeah, we would. We would say, don't cut your eyes thinking about it.
At Alabama.
Yeah, exactly.
Hold on. That's the other thing that I want to say. Everybody's like, that Nick Saban wouldn't let that happen.
I'm so tired of hearing that.
Bull crap, man. Go back and watch.
He's let it happen.
You had a wide receiver walking around with an axe on the sideline, man. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, man. You have to have a dog mentality.
You have to, but at the same time, when you're a 2-year captain, a 5th-year senior, maybe is that what he is? 5th-year senior.
What's your job? If you're that person, what's your job? What is your job?
You don't act like a 3-year-old that lost a freaking balloon.
I don't think that's what it was, man. I think he was trying to communicate that it's unacceptable.
By kicking the ball.
To Brandon's point, he doesn't know how to act. He's rarely in that situation.
No, that's right. That's not. But he didn't act that way and show any passion until after he got burned and gave up that touchdown.
That you saw. He may have been barking at people the whole game.
What?
You don't know that. He may have been barking at folks the whole game.
Didn't show up.
He may have, but you know what? It wasn't showing in his play on the field.
Me too, K-Spray. Kick the ref. Especially if it's that Autry crew from
especially if the refs are a bunch of midgets.
I'll say this now.
Say that anymore. Right, so little people.
They're little LPs.
Dwarfs. Hobbits.
I got a Snow White and 7 Dwarfs joke.
We'll get to that later.
But it's not a dad joke.
All right.
So I've got some info. Just are we doing Malachi or are we going to keep on Malachi?
Yeah.
I don't care. Do whatever you want.
Let me say this about
Malachi does what he wants. You do what you want, Will.
Yeah, man.
I love me some Malachi Moore. I'm gratefully stayed for a 5th year, and he's not a 4th-round draft pick somewhere else. So that's good. Now, he could have hurt his draft stock with that behavior the other night.
Maybe. He's got plenty of time to fix it now.
But the NFL, there you go. All right, so here's a problem with that Vanderbilt. I've got notes. I've got lots of notes in my formerly nicotine-stained hands. I always say this. What's the key to this week's game? establish the run, stop the run.
Sure.
Not Joe Tessitore, the guy with the jacked up teeth. He's an analyst.
Troy Aikman?
No, he's a college analyst. You used to be at Georgia Tech quarterback.
I don't know.
Anyway, he said these are the 4 things that are, if you win 3 of these 4 categories, you're winning the game. Rushing yards, turnovers, yards after contact, and passing efficiency and passing yards. Alabama won 1 category. Vanderbilt won total rushing yards.
Yes.
They won the turnover battle, and they won yards after contact.
Sure.
Alabama had passing efficiency and total passing yards. We did not establish the run. In the first half, Cole Kubelik pointed this out during the broadcast, and he said it multiple times this week. In the first half, Alabama ran 4 series where they ran back-to-back runs, and the second run was a very good run. In the second half, they ran exactly 0 series of back-to-back runs. They gave up the run game.
Well, they panicked.
Now they won. They
panicked.
scored 35. They scored 35 points in 18 minutes on 40 plays.
Yeah, it ain't on the offense. This ain't on the offense.
So you win. You score 35 points in the SEC. You should win. All right. Offense did their job. We had turnovers. 1 was a pick 6. We did not stop the rushing game, and that gets me to this point. This triple option that Vandy runs. New Mexico State beat Auburn with the same game plan last year.
And the same quarterback.
Same quarterback.
Same offensive coordinator, and Jerry Kill is on defense. He was the head coach at New Mexico State. Jerry Kill's a dang good coach, probably a Hall of Fame coach. So the triple option is all angles. Chris and I can go into detail on that. It's all angles. And if you are a fast pursuit defense like Alabama is, when you pursue your gap, because the guy that you thought was in your gap is now gone, it looks like your gap is open. Oh, man, I got a free run at the running back. I got a free run at the quarterback. Then you got a helmet in your rib cage from a guy you didn't know was coming. And that happens all freaking night. And then this triple option added an outside Florida Dan Mullen approach, and they put in I was sitting there in front of the TV in my computer. I was away. I was going, shoot, that's 08 Florida. That's 09 Florida. I'm pointing at plays. This is Dan Mullen's offense mixed with Georgia Southern's offense. So you take Georgia Southern, ran through our ass like shit through a tin horn for 389,000 yards, and add NIL talent to it, you got a loss. And it's a hard one of the best defenses in the world had trouble with it 12 years ago, and still won a national championship. And so what my point is, it's a hard game plan to plan for. Vandy's better than Georgia Southern. This ain't the 84 Vandy game I was at when we lost, homecoming. And so give Vandy some credit for picking up a good thing. Give the defensive staff no credit for proper preparation, because that sucked balls. Rant complete.
You okay?
I'm good.
Well, it's like I posted a short
because you've got to prepare for the
night.
crowd.
We got our asses handed to us.
That's basically
I'm not going to put it all on the coaches. I'm not. Everybody wants to, because if it was Nick Saban quit on us. I'll say it. He quit. If you don't like it, you can quit too. But he quit. He gave up. He couldn't keep up with the landscape of college football. That's what it boils down to.
I love that we're having this in-depth conversation, and Chris is like giving hot takes, and everybody's over here just talking about how shiny.
I know Bill's glasses. It is what it is.
Great, man.
And at the end of the day, my eyes get real tired, so I have to switch to the spectacles.
Look, I'm never going to condone Alabama losing to Vanderbilt. It shouldn't happen. but it did, and this was the perfect year for it to happen.
Yep.
I do want to, like, this is not your grandpa's Vandy team. It's not. They did very well out of the portal, and they had a game plan. They had a game plan that worked, and they knew that our DBs were young. They knew that they could confuse them, and that's what they did. It was going to happen at some point in time. Do I think it's fixable? Yeah, I do think it's fixable.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
For all of you, a lot of people call Kane Womack's head already. Give them a little bit of time.
I think it's fixed this week.
But I'm also going to say that Alabama won't be the only team to lose to somebody they shouldn't lose to. Notre Dame's already done it. Tennessee lost to Arkansas
this whole
week.
year. Texas is on the chopping block next.
Yeah. Georgia's going to lose to somebody else that they
Ohio
shouldn't lose
State's going to lose to somebody.
Yeah. Look, guys, the way NIL and transfer portal have impacted college football is the talent is much more level across the board.
Eventually, we're going to have a 3-loss national champion.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah,
it's coming. We used to talk about that all the time. Who's going to be the first one?
Yeah. And they're going to beat a 1-loss team. It's going to be like when Eli Manning's first Super Bowl and his second Super Bowl, when they beat the Patriots, they were the best team one night, but they weren't the best team of the season. And we're going to have that happen.
Like obviously, what you saw on the field up there in Nashville, that's not indicative of who Alabama is totally as a team.
No.
I mean, you come out of that loss and then you're favored against South Carolina by 23 points. I mean, obviously, Alabama is still a very good team.
Right there.
Alabama's still a very good team.
Yeah.
It's what I've talked about. What's been Alabama's biggest problem the past 2 seasons? Consistency. Whether it be on the offensive line, in the secondary, in the running game, the quarterback, it's been consistent.
Yes.
You're not getting consistent play week to week, and it bit them in the ass. That's what happened.
We've got to remember, we did not plug and play with new Saban assistant coaches in the Saban platform, the Saban defense, the Saban offense. It's all new. And I will say this: there have been people, that 3-3-5 stack is a bullcrap defense. Wrong. The top 5 teams in the country play a nickel defense as their base form of defense. 3-3-5, 4-2-5. It's a nickel defense. It's just, you're going to get a point where somebody brain farts because they're facing something they don't normally face, a triple option Tim Tebow kind of crap. And that's with Johnny Manziel running the ball. Listen, we were up 24-0 on Cam freaking Newton and pissed that one away.
Yeah.
So, and we were that 2010 Alabama team was stacked and just wasn't prepared 3 times that year, and did what I think we did at Vanderbilt. We took for granted. We're the champions. We're going to kick everybody's ass. And they went in there and rolled their helmets on the field. And the other, I told y'all, I texted y'all earlier this week, there's a chart you can look up online called the F around and find out graph.
Yes.
And typically it's a 1-to-1 ratio. If you F around at a 1, the find out is also at a 1. Well, Alabama thought they could F around at a 4.5, but Vanderbilt was going to let you find out at their 10.
Yeah. Look, Vanderbilt also is, I think they're only a few points away from being undefeated right now.
7. And they are about 30 seconds away from being undefeated. It's not just a few points. It's the Missouri game was double overtime, and the Georgia State game was a touchdown pass with 20 seconds to go in the game.
Yep.
Yeah, they're going to give a lot of people hell. They're probably.
I think
it's okay. I got a hot take on them later on. So
okay, they're going to beat Auburn.
We've texted on that. I agree.
I know what your hot take is.
Yeah.
I almost just said it.
Yeah. Vanderbilt. Look,
I don't know about that,
cool.
but all right.
All right. Every year, by the way, we always have some that rise up, some that stay at the bottom. Sorry, Mississippi State. This is
their Vanderbilt
bottom.
That's the thing, though. Like, everybody's got to. Vanderbilt's not the worst team in the conference anymore, and they've been
they're not.
They've been kind of moving to that. Who's the worst team in the conference right now? Is it Mississippi State?
Probably State and then Kentucky.
Yeah.
Kentucky looks like crap sometimes, and then they go out and play like balls out against Ole Miss and Georgia. But
and then Tennessee goes and gets beat by little Arkansas
at home.
Yeah,
at home.
Well, look,
now Tim's got a good point. We are not tackling well.
No,
that's been off.
But somebody else said it earlier. They're
not.
also trying. They're also trying.
they're trying to swipe the ball.
Yeah,
and they're trying to knock somebody over like a bowling pin. Wrap them up.
I don't know, Lance. I think given what Florida has to put on the field, they're actually not that terrible.
No, they're not.
Yeah, and so I'm not saying they're good.
No, we're going to see. We are going to see. Florida, God bless them, has the worst schedule of anybody.
Let's back up to Saturday night for a second because we lost. Okay, it is what it is. But did you guys watch them carry the goalpost out of the stadium?
No.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
There was a guy standing on them, steering the ship, telling them which way to go.
That's hilarious.
Like a captain.
Oh,
that's hilarious.
It was the best goalpost.
And then I don't know if you know how far it is from the stadium to the river. They went through down Broadway.
Yeah.
They had to have like shifts that would carry the goalposts.
And
they didn't carry they didn't have a section of the goalpost. They had the whole U.
Yeah. I'm sure they was a bunch of them going, sorry for interrupting your bridal shower.
Yeah. And then it was like, hey, I'm pre-med. Can somebody take my shift on this thing?
Yeah.
I mean, we got beat by a bunch of freaking nerds. And I'm going to say this
it's
again.
Nerds.
It was penalties, it was preparation, and it was turnovers. Penalties and go in the category of preparation, and preparation goes under the category of what were the coaches doing, because they damn sure didn't adjust.
We got beat by the damn Tri-Lambs.
Hey, why?
The damn nerds.
Why wasn't Mbakwe on the field?
I see. I think in one of the interviews earlier this week, it was said we just didn't get a chance to get him on the field. So
I don't see how not.
That's what I think. I think that was Monday. Coach Womack said it just never popped. The opportunity never got there.
The opportunity was there. We was getting beat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, Alabama's biggest problem defensively is third down.
If Milroe had thrown 4 interceptions the first half, would you have did something else or leave him in there? It's just hypothetical.
Hypothetically,
I mean, if it's Jalen
Hurts, our defense is getting burned. Our defense is getting burned. I mean, they're not executing. Do something different.
Well,
do it.
Yeah.
No, me too, Tim. Yeah, Vandy definitely wasn't the game I picked to lose. I thought it would be Georgia and Tennessee.
I did too.
But I'll be honest, I'm not so convinced Alabama's going to lose to Tennessee. I think Alabama actually, if they can get through that Tennessee stretch, if they beat South Carolina Saturday and then beat Tennessee, they've actually got it pretty gentle.
I will say this: Georgia gave us a good playbook for Tennessee. We've battled that
until they come out in the wishbone.
If they come out in the wishbone, if you use all 3 timeouts consecutively and readjust, if they do the wishbone, I don't think Bobby Hill knows what the wishbone is, except that they used to play it at Oklahoma.
Look, and we realized
yes, Lance, the aftermath of it all.
Improve, Lance.
We saw Alabama take their first portal hit of the season. Jaheim Otis said, "That's it. I'm redshirting and I'm out. Deuces." And he cited playing time. And between Wisconsin and Georgia, he only played 25 snaps, and most of those were he made zero impact. So not a huge loss, but I will say, Alabama fans, you probably need to prepare yourself because there's going to be more. Because a lot of these guys that stayed are going to realize, hey, this isn't the defense for me. And I think Bama could lose a few more guys. One specifically, I think they might lose. Might lose is Keon Keeley. He has not played at all. I don't know what's going on with that situation. But Alabama's got to figure some things out in terms of a pass rush.
Well, you know what?
Lacking. And then the middle of that defense is so porous.
When you go, let's go back, rewind to Vanderbilt. I said this a minute ago, when you've got speed guys rushing, the genius of that triple option is it's a counter to speed. And so the pass rush gets negated because, all right, rush at us this angle, we're going to go at that angle. And I don't want to say I'm making excuses, but I am explaining. What we did in the first half of Georgia, we've got to do. Jeff is correct. It's over. I'm ready to talk about South Carolina.
We're about to. Let's talk about some recruiting news first, because everybody loves
recruiting.
Everybody loves recruiting. So we'll pop this thing up here. It's your weekly recruiting roundup.
Woohoo!
And
it's okay. I'm gonna opt out for that.
All right. Recruiting. There's not much going on. At least not in terms of favoring Alabama. Deuce Knight finally flipped his commitment from Notre Dame to Auburn. We've known that was coming for like 3 months. I think he was trying to wait and do it on a weekend where they won and realized it's not going to happen. So it's just like, you know what? Screw it. And committed. In terms of Alabama commits, you do have one Anthony Turbo Rogers taking a visit to the University of Georgia soon. Something to keep an eye on. There's been a lot of smoke in the offseason once A.K. Deere committed that Rogers might jump ship. The talk was Ohio State, but there's nothing to indicate that he's actually flipping, that it's just a visit. And I figured I'd give you my thoughts on the coveted Justice Terry, who feels like we've been talking about forever. You know how we had a Khalid Lockett jar? I think we need a Justice Terry jar. I don't think Alabama lands Justice Terry. I think that there's been a lot of momentum. All the time you follow the visits. Yes, he did visit, or he was going to visit for the Georgia-Alabama game. He's still going to visit Alabama-Missouri, but he's actually taking a trip to watch Georgia play Texas on the road. You don't do that if you're not heavily interested in that program. So I think Terry's probably, along with Elijah Griffin, probably two Georgia guys. Georgia's going to make a very strong push for the number one class when it's over. But I also want to tell everybody, look, Auburn is blowing their wad on a recruiting class right now. I don't know if it's going to stick together. They're probably going to lose. Look, I looked at Auburn's schedule earlier today. There's a possibility they only win one more game. But with money, it's a lot easier to hold a recruiting class together through that kind of record. So we'll see what happens. Don't be surprised if Auburn finishes in front of Alabama in recruiting. Don't be surprised. I think some outlets have them sitting at 4. Some outlets have them.
Don't be surprised if they go 4-8 next year too.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't build. And it's funny because they all retweeted me saying that you can't build a long-term team by buying players, like Nick Saban talked about, transformational versus transactional. And I'm right. They know I'm right, but they're retweeting it when we lost to Vanderbilt. Like that's because we lost to Vandy. That's supposed to make what I said incorrect. The day teams stop tearing down goalposts when they beat Alabama is the day you can come knock on my door and talk to me.
That's it.
Anyway, which by the way, it's amazing how many people will bookmark something that's got nothing to do with them and then try to throw it back in your face when your team loses. It's really sad, especially when they just got clobbered by Georgia the same day. I don't know, and they're going to lose to Vanderbilt too. Anyway, so that's your recruiting roundup. There's not much going on. as we always tell you, there's a long way to go to December.
There it is. It's a long.
There is some recruiting news. The NCAA has decided to get rid of national letters of intent.
Yes.
Breaking news.
I don't understand
a couple days ago, and I don't understand what the NCAA's job is anymore. I don't understand why they exist. Why don't
they
we
run a
exalt-
basketball tournament and Division 2 and 3 athletic events?
It's absolutely bonkers. Probably easy.
So what's the deal with the national letter of intent? Are they basically saying you're going to have to get a contract from now on?
Scholarships and financial aid is what locks it in now.
Yep.
So you don't have to agree to stay there.
No.
Okay, then we're going to have contracts coming quickly.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what they're leaving the door open for. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the next step.
But all it's going to do is get messy.
Duh.
Eventually,
Because then what happens?
Has the NCAA ever unmessed something?
But what is it? It's going to be just like a coach or a pro player. Oh, we're going to trade you to wherever, or we're letting you go, and because we're this team's picking you up, they're going to have to pay us X amount of dollars.
Yeah,
it's going to be. Hey, Jamarcus Haynes, we've just executed a trade for you with ULM for some players to be named later.
Who's Jamarcus Haynes? I was like, who's that?
Yeah,
I just made it up.
NFL light, man.
That's all it is.
It's turn in your playbook, your iPad, and your cleats, and good luck in Monroe, Louisiana.
That's it.
Now tax it.
Yeah. Yep. C-Dub points out once they sign a financial aid letter, there could be no more communication. That is until portal windows open up and all that.
And they're going to they did cut the portal windows to 30 days.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter because these coaches are calling players.
Yeah.
During no contact period.
I saw something today where
who called Jaheim Otis on Sunday? Guarantee you somebody called Jaheim Otis on Sunday.
I don't know, but Rara Thomas posted a video talking about how Auburn called him during the no contact period, trying to convince him to enter the portal. So
it's going to happen. Nothing will be done about it. It is what it is.
Yeah. Speaking about Auburn, did you guys see the chat? The Georgia, maybe it was Georgia, might have been Ohio State fan chat that had Deuce Knight in it, and it was talking about how ass Auburn is, even though he's committing man.
Oh yeah,
and that
I did not see that.
Yeah, he's like, all Hugh Freeze talks about is money this, money that. It's kind of wild. So, but Auburn fans got mad at me for talking about him taking money from a baseball program for recruiting.
Still hadn't been disproven.
No, that's because it happened, but it doesn't matter. It's not a bad thing. Like if it works, it works. If he signs a top three class,
but
$1 million from baseball.
They're not going to the College World Series this coming up season.
No.
We'll leave it at
that.
that.
Man, they still got horses and basketball.
Yeah, they got a fishing team. They got bass fishing. They've got
their golf's not bad.
They've got farrier competitions.
What?
Farrier? You know what a farrier is?
Horseshoeing?
They horseshoe. They don't have horses though. They put shoes on cattle.
They clean the hooves.
Yeah.
Cow College,
which is actually, there's like one farrier in every 8 counties, and that one guy makes decent money, but it's not an industry worth getting into.
No.
Okay. Moving on.
So, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was actually in the moving on phase of life.
No. Well, moving on. What do you think about South Carolina?
It's hard to say. I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know because I don't know what version of Alabama you're going to get.
That's the thing.
I mean, they put 3 points on the board this past week.
Yeah.
3.
But that was Ole Miss, man. That was Ole Miss with that high-flying offense.
That was Ole Miss with that transfer, that portal team he's got built.
I will say this: South Carolina is not good on third down.
South Carolina is not good at all.
Didn't they beat Vanderbilt? Or did Vanderbilt beat them?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or did they beat Kentucky?
No, Vanderbilt lost.
Kentucky.
Vanderbilt lost to. They lost to Missouri and Georgia Southern.
I'm looking it up,
That's
gentlemen.
right.
I'm looking it up. Let's go to the Googles. All right. So
The
South
Googler.
Carolina. South Carolina.
While you're looking it up,
Yeah.
everybody needs to say a prayer for Roll Tide Willie because his Willie itches really
There's something
bad.
wrong with that boy.
Okay.
Yeah. He's gotten the lobsters or something.
All right. So South Carolina lost to LSU barely,
Yeah.
and then got pummeled by Ole Miss. They have not played
Yeah.
Vanderbilt. I apologize. Everything's starting to run together. Show us your search history. Absolutely not. You're not allowed. No way. I don't know, to be honest. I do know that Sellers is a great player, but it's hard to tell where they are. They've got a good defense, and so
Right.
I think this is going to be
Two great edge rushers.
I think this is going to be a really good eye test for Jalen Milroe in terms of, everything is still out in front of Alabama.
Yeah.
Despite losing to Vanderbilt, that doesn't help. But Bama can even lose another
Yes.
game, and they're probably still in it, as long as it's to a ranked team,
Yeah.
preferably on the road.
As
And
long as
so-
it's not Mercer, we're good.
Welcome, Gelato. Are the linebackers not running downhill? It doesn't look that way.
Well, they were
They
running
were-
down. They were.
I don't think they're running
Against
at all.
Vanderbilt,
No,
when they
it's
ran
not-
downhill, they ran into a
Right.
wash of the angle blocks, and that's why when everybody was saying, "Oh man, their offensive line's pushing us all over the field," you get up in that mess, and they will. You've got to actually pause, and a fast defense has a hard time doing a pause, and that.
So we'll say
it's a
statistically,
perfect
Sorry, Bill.
storm for a loss.
yeah, I will say statistically,
still-
South Carolina's defense is better than Georgia's in terms of
Yes.
defensive rankings. They are slightly better than Georgia's. So, one person that kind of got overshadowed in that game against Vandy was Jalen Milroe. Yes, he had the nasty pick six that some people think wasn't his fault.
Yeah,
That's
great
fine.
game.
But some of those seam throws he was making were really good plays. And Milroe's progression this season, even in that loss, has been a lot of fun to watch. And it makes it easier now that he's got Ryan Williams on the field. But Milroe as a quarterback is getting much better. So to see him against a really good pass rush, a top 25 defense at home is going to be a lot of fun to watch. Now,
Yeah.
what does Alabama put on the field defensively? They're right now they're sitting at 50 on defense, which I want to say for Alabama, with what they've given up in the past 6 quarters of football, to be sitting at 50 in overall defense is pretty crazy. But that also goes to show you that college football is evolving. Defenses are not going to be as dominant as they were 15 years ago. That's just not the way the game works anymore. And if that's your focus, you're going to get burned. That's something that Kirby Smart's going to have to learn if he wants to keep Georgia relevant moving into these new focuses in college football. That's not to say defense doesn't still win championships, because it's very important. But you can win a national championship with a top 25 defense. You don't have to have a top 5 defense anymore. Offense is way more important. And Alabama's doing good in the offensive sense. Their defense just did not help them out
At all.
Vanderbilt.
Right.
So-
Right. The offense.
The
offense
only
did a great
thing I
job.
don't like about this week is it's an 11 a.m. game.
Yeah.
I would say that, but Bama
That-
played
that
really well
means-
at Wisconsin on the road.
That means I got to get up early. Got to
Yeah.
wake up early.
Oh, you're going to be up. You're going to be up.
You're going to be up early.
Look, Alabama currently sits offensively at number 16 in the country, right behind Louisville.
Okay.
right in front of South Alabama. I want to see where Vandy is in this list. What Vandy just be like number 5 or something?
They're like
South Carolina is way on down here in terms of overall offense. I'm gonna guess. I don't even see them in the top 80 yet. Vanderbilt's 87.
Yeah.
South Carolina is sitting at 93. They're averaging around 5 yards a play. Scored 16 touchdowns, yards per game, 360 yards per game. But they've played really poor defenses. Is Alabama's defense good? I don't know. I don't know. I can't answer that question. We're going to find out in the next 2 weeks because this is an offense who can take advantage of the ground game and throw it around. They've got a mobile quarterback, and then you're going to go into Knoxville and have to do the same thing. And then you got Missouri coming up in a couple of weeks. So, I mean, what's your take on it, Chris?
On what, Missouri or what?
South Carolina. What? South Carolina. So Alabama's defense.
Honestly, I think we'll walk out of there with an easy win. I mean, I really don't think South Carolina's. They're not average. They're mediocre.
Okay.
I think Vanderbilt is. They're not average, but it's like I've been saying. Give me a team with a little bit of talent and a whole lot of heart, and you can do something with them. They wanted it more, so they took it.
Caleb asked, is Bama going to get some elite D linemen in recruiting? It's not looking that way. I mean, you've got some guys that you can use in the pass rush.
They'll get them, but they're going to have to pay for them.
Yeah. And you're going to have to outbid. A lot of those guys are that Bama needs are looking at Georgia, so they're going to have to put up some money. I agree, Lance. I think that's where Caleb DeBoer and company will turn is to the portal. To kind of supplement that need because we don't have an elite pass rush right now. And that kind of, when you lose a guy like Will Anderson 2 seasons ago, and then you lose a guy like Dallas Turner and all those, that they weren't D linemen per se. They're very talented pass rushers. You don't have that anymore. And we as fans have been looking for it. And every week, there's kind of like a new guy that you're like, oh, that could be him. That could be the guy. But nobody's been consistent. It goes back to consistency. That's Alabama's problem. What you got, Bill?
Yep. However, Clay Russell, LT Overton, James Smith, and Q Robinson are really strong on that edge. I don't think they got used properly in the second half of Georgia and all of the Vandy game. But they showed great. They showed excellence when they were there. So the defense is getting tweaked every week. Let's remember, folks. This isn't the Saban defense. This isn't the Saban system. It's new to everybody. But those guys I mentioned, Quay, Q, James Smith, LT, I see them as impact players this week. And we don't have Alshon Jeffrey, Stephen Garcia, or Marcus Lattimore showing up for South Carolina. It's going to be – I said this about Vandy. It's going to be ugly first quarter. It's going to be an ugly first – we're going to cuss and fuss for 30 minutes of the game. But I think we're going to come out of there with a victory.
Look. Something I've noticed about Alabama's defense, that first half of the Georgia game, they were very disruptive for Carson Beck. And the person that I pointed to was Justin Jefferson. And then he gets hurt, and he's not playing the second half. He didn't play last week. And you could tell he's missing on the field. He's a very disruptive guy. So if they get him a little healthy and he's on the field, that'll look good in terms for Bama moving forward. But I also think some of it falls back on these play callers. If I don't think he should have said it out loud, but if Malachi's right about getting the defensive play call in late, like that's got to get fixed. That's on Kane Womack. And then I do think that at times they kind of revert back to just being a little too vanilla That's what was going on in the second half of the Georgia game. I think you saw that a little bit against Vandy. They're a little bit too vanilla. I don't know if they're trying to hide their cards or what they're trying to do, but it's the SEC, man. You got to bring your A game every week. It doesn't matter who you're playing, especially if you're on the road, because you're going to screw around and get beat. And hopefully Kalen DeBoer learned that last week, and Bama fans don't have to suffer through something like that again.
Well, there's nothing left to hide. It's SEC games the rest of the year. I think what we'll see with the aggression on defense is, like Justin Jefferson, he's tweaked. Coaches are keeping it quiet. He's a playmaker, and I forgot to mention him. We see Jefferson come in. I hope what Coach Saban said. There's a good loss. And I hope this is the good loss that puts a hot poker in some buttholes so they get fired up and kick everybody's ass.
Okay, Bill.
And I said butthole.
You did. Yeah, absolutely.
He said butthole.
No matter what happens, we will be live this weekend after the game. There's a lot of good football on this weekend, which leads us to picks.
Yeah.
Christopher, if you're ready, let's do some picks. Chat, let us know.
I'm not ready.
That's okay.
Chris, you said you had a joke earlier.
Yeah, it's probably I probably don't need to tell it here. That's more
okay,
about after. Yeah, no, it's kind of dirty.
You save it for after dark next week?
Probably need to.
Okay, cool. We'll do that.
Let me get my picks ready. I'm actually sending a text to you guys right now.
Okay.
Is it about ants in your pants?
No, that's Uncle's. All right. Let's see what we got.
Before we go to the next segment, I want to ask this.
Hey, what?
Michael, how'd the hurricane treat you?
It was okay in my neck of the woods. I think ultimately the storm wasn't as strong as they thought it was going to be, but definitely got some leakage in the house from the roof. Trees down everywhere. Went and kind of did riding around. I saw somebody's trailer got literally cut in half by a tree today. It's pretty wild. So, we're okay. Thank God, but we'll see if we get another one. It's been a wild hurricane season.
Any flooding?
Yeah, we did have some flooding, but I was able to kind of get in the backyard. Yeah. I literally dug out some trenches to kind of let the water run out into this wood space in the backyard. So we're okay.
When we lived in Jacksonville in 2004, Florida it was South Central, all down around the Tampa area, 4 hurricanes in like 5 weeks, which brought in a ton of damage to Jacksonville and St. Augustine. And my neighborhood was an old growth neighborhood on the river. And we had every street in the neighborhood had massive trees that got knocked down. And we had the only flooding were the riverfront homes. And so I definitely remember, man, Florida is so flat that water is going to go up because it ain't. There's nowhere downhill.
I'll say the whole state's not underwater.
No. But hey, Lieutenant Dan made it through it.
Yeah, because the sheriff came out and made him leave.
No, actually, I think he wrote it out.
He didn't.
They made him
leave.
No,
they came out and made him go.
Really?
To it. Yeah.
There
was a whole thing with him where some.
I would have rode. You just got to paddle out and rode away.
Yeah, apparently there were some streamers that were going to give him some money, and they found out he's got like a pretty violent.
Yeah, he's
not a great dude, but
no.
So let's make some picks, man.
All right. Oh man. Tomorrow night we got number 16 Utah at Arizona State, 9:30 p.m. kickoff. Utah favored by 5.5.
I think that do they do the U thing too? Give me the Utes.
I don't know if they do, but
give me the Utes.
What about you, Bill?
I'm going with the Utes. I like their head coach.
All right.
Bills just like
Jeff picked Utah, and in this one, I've been real high on Arizona State this season, so I'm going with Utah.
all right.
All right. Moving on to Saturday. This might be the game of the week. Number 1 Texas at number 18 Oklahoma, but they're playing in Dallas at the Cotton Bowl.
50-50 crowd.
2:30 kickoff time. Texas favored by 14.5.
Okay.
Oh, okay. What the hell does that mean?
All right, I was reading.
Okay.
Auburn just flipped another wide receiver from Georgia Tech.
Okay, whatever.
3-star
All right.
wide receiver.
How much do they pay that 3-star?
I don't know.
Hey, since there's
I don't even
letters
want to hear
in-
news about a 3-star.
Let's wait till the scholarship ink dries.
What was the game we were picking?
It doesn't matter. We're moving on.
Texas and Oklahoma.
Texas. Give me Texas. Give me the Longhorns. I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think.
What do you think, Bill? Come on, Bill.
Give me the Sooners.
Ooh. And Jeff picked the Sooners too.
Quinn Ewers is going to be back, right?
So
Lance has got a great comment.
what do you say?
He said Texas will win, but going to tear up Quinn's
All right.
belly
Well,
button.
while I say this, I'm gonna have to throw it down, but I'm going with Texas.
Yeah, I got Texas too, but
All right. Number 4, Penn State University at USC. 2:30 kickoff. Penn State favored by 3.5.
that's a toughie. I think USC is going to get him. I think they're going to get him.
How about you, Bill?
USC, it's on the road. Penn State plays like champs at home and dogs on the road.
Jeff went with Penn State, and since James Franklin was whining about the airport and the runway, I'm gonna have to go with USC.
Give me the Trojans.
Yeah. Give me the give me the Magnums.
Trojan man. Sorry.
Well,
no, they don't. See, Doug, we did a video not a long time ago about teams that me and Jeff did. Teams that are always hyped up preseason, and Penn State is 100% in that video. They're one of those. Yeah.
Yep, they sure are.
Michael, I seen who you tweeted a picture. Who was that watching our podcast?
Oh, that's Bernie, man.
Really?
Yeah, Bernie.
I thought it was Dick Cheney.
Amazing.
It may have been.
Is he out there campaigning?
Close enough. All right, moving along. 2:30 kickoff.
If you're watching Waaaay Offsides, so I once again have to ask if you're watching Waaaay Offsides. C-Dub, pick USC. Next pick. Let's go.
Ask your question.
2:30 p.m. Louisville at Virginia. Louisville favored by 7.5.
Give me the Cards.
Going with the Cards. What about you, Bill?
Give me the Cavaliers. UVA.
Is there a damn delay like there is on game day?
So.
I mean, what?
Bill smirked though. First, he was like,
"Yeah,
okay, all right." You know what? I'm gonna have to go with Louisville in this one. All right, no, I take it back. You gotta pick,
Lance.
This is the game of the week. Number 2, the Ohio State University at number 3, Oregon. 6:30 p.m. Ohio State favored by 3. They're playing in Bill's favorite stadium. Who you got?
I'm expecting Zero State to win the game. Hopefully the heaters work well in the locker rooms. But I'm going with Ohio State.
Are they getting there by train?
Yeah, they're going by train. I think there's an arch over the visitors' locker room that said "Work makes you happy."
Give me Ohio State. Only really smart people will get those jokes.
They've got to go back a few months to know what you said.
Somebody's gonna. I didn't say that. You did.
You said it.
No, you said Autzen Stadium
Well, you know what?
reminds you of a different
I'll
word.
set you up. I'll set you up.
You know what? You guys going with Ohio State. Jeff went with Ohio State. I've got a friend there in Eugene. He works on appliances for a living.
Oh, good grief!
Respectable.
Gas or electric?
Give me the Ducks.
Yeah. It's going to be the battle of the damage transfers. Both of these teams. As last Trayshawn Holden, Caleb Downs, Seth McLaughlin. There's going to be former Bama guys all over the field, and the announcers will let you know it. I promise.
Oh yeah.
All right, so hold on. We got to get
moving on. Yeah,
hold on.
moving up.
Hold on. C-Dub's got an Ohio State joke. Send it, C-Dub. Yeah. Somebody cue the Jeopardy music. We're all waiting on you, C-Dub.
Yeah, we're moving on up.
10, 9, 8, 7, 3, 1. Let's go. Move on. It'll pop up and we'll read it.
Hey, you know why Ohio State fans are their fans? I don't know. Tell us, C-Dub, why?
Because they suck.
Haven't waited a long time for the punchline here.
Hey.
Whoa, sir. This is not after
that. Okay.
C-Dub. Behave yourself.
We will say this. R.I.P. to John Amos, James Evans Sr. from Good Times. He left us last week. Next game.
He did. Yep. Sure did. You know, he played it. I don't think people realize how advanced his acting was.
So advanced.
He had a great career.
He did. He really did.
But if you're of a certain age, whenever you saw him, you said, "Hey, that's JJ's daddy." No matter what he was doing.
Not me. All right, pick the next game.
There you go, right there. All right, we headed to the Bayou.
Rolling
number 9, Ole Miss at number 13, LSU, 6:30 p.m. kickoff in Death Valley. Ole Miss favored by 3.5.
Give me LSU. I think Ole Miss, despite beating South Carolina the way they did, I don't think Ole Miss is as good as the media wanted them to be, and LSU is going to squeak this one out. So I hope they play neck. That's all I got to say.
So,
go Tigers.
We're going LSU. Jeff went with LSU, and I'm going to let the band play neck. Go Tigers.
Take it easy on that
Tigers. I asked him which door he wanted me to leave out of.
Take it easy on that cigar, boy.
Where that check?
Where
your mama at? No, I'm sorry.
Oh, God.
Lord forgive me.
All right. We're leaving here and we're going all the way to Boulder, Colorado. Number 18, K-State at Colorado, 9:15 kickoff for us. It'd be 8:15 or 7:15 there. I don't know what time zone they're in.
Who cares?
K-State favored by 3.5. Who you got?
Give me the Buffs, man. Hey, C-Dub, yeah. Give me the Buffs.
Yep.
Bill?
Give me the K-State Wildcats.
There you go. You still riding that Bill Snyder train, huh?
Yeah. He loves them. I will say that Dion and the boys are making
until I see a full team performance.
Dion and the boys are making a push for Keelan Russell. Keelan Russell.
For who?
Keelan Russell.
Okay.
Keelan Russell.
I got to go with Colorado on this one. I think they beat them.
Beated them.
I got to
see. Travis Hunter's a baller.
We're going to leave there and go all the way to Kentucky. all the way to Kentucky. Vanderbilt,
Bluegrass, bring it on.
little bit of that, a little bit of hillbilly. That's up there where they really love their sisters at. Vandy at UK, 6:45 kickoff. Kentucky's favored by 13.5.
Give me the Vanderbilt Commodores, baby. And it's not because we lost to them. I want Vandy to be good. I want Vandy to play in the SEC. Put Vandy in the playoff right now. Give me Vanderbilt.
Here, give me a high five. Bill, just
I'm Vandy, man.
Give me Vandy, man. Anchor all the way down. All the way down.
If
Jeff
couldn't
went
beat that triple option.
Well, Jeff went with Kentucky. I'm going with Vanderbilt.
Yeah, if Bama couldn't beat that triple option, Kentucky dang sure can.
Now here's one that it's a 6 p.m. kickoff in Knoxville, Florida at Tennessee. Tennessee is favored by 15.
Give me the Vols.
Well, you know what? Them alligators are so mad.
Because they got all them teeth and no brushes to brush them with.
No, because they're going to lose again on the road in Tennessee.
This will be the one that starts to put the more pressure back on Billy Napier.
I'm going with Tennessee.
Yeah, give me the Vials.
So, Lance, are you taking Florida?
No
way.
That's what I want to know. I'm waiting.
Florida doesn't have a defense.
Lance.
Howard, to answer your question, money.
Yep.
Lots of money.
Yep.
Bags of money and laser.
All right, Lance is taking Florida. Who'd Jeff take?
Okay.
Tennessee.
Jeff took Tennessee.
Rocky Top is actually
a smart man.
Yeah, but you know what? Arkansas damn sure played it better in their stadium.
Sure did. Sure enough did.
Yeah.
That's true. Lance, he's got a point. I mean, little Arkansas beat them. Arkansas beat them after they lost their two best offensive players in the game.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of want to change my pick.
Not in Knoxville.
Who's better, Arkansas or Vanderbilt?
Cannot Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I'd go with Vanderbilt.
Now I think if Arkansas and Vanderbilt played 10 times, Arkansas
5-5.
5 of them. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, 5-5.
All right. You know what? I'm changing my pick. I'm going with Florida.
Okay. Dun, 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 dun.
All right. Here's what everybody wants.
All right.
South Carolina in Tuscaloosa, 11 a.m. kickoff. Bama favored by 21. Anybody. Anybody speak the hell up.
Listen, if they ain't wearing crimson, they ain't worth the crap. I don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide. Bama by 100, roll damn Tide.
Give me Alabama.
All right, well, I tell you what, Bill, what do you think the score is going to be?
43-25.
Yeah, I got 42-21.
42-21.
I stole it from somebody in the chat. Which, by the way, I do want to say somebody in our chat has an in, and they just. Well, I mean, I just want to say this: Courtney Morgan has told people not to worry about Keelan Russell visiting Colorado, that he is staying put and locked in with Alabama. So moving forward, Cocktober, give me the Tide, but only by 10. Ooh.
Only by
I'll take
10.
10-point win, but it's going to be better.
I'll take that.
After much consideration, I'm going with Bama, but I'm going to say 51-10.
Oh,
okay.
I think we're going to see a resurgence.
Does Jalen Milroe take the seat as the Heisman favorite again after Saturday? Probably. I think so.
I want to see.
Let me. Okay, you know what? Let's be realistic here.
I am being realistic.
No, let's be real. Who's our best player on the team?
I know what you're going to say. You're saying Ryan Williams. It's not. It's Jalen Milroe.
Jalen
Is it
Milroe.
though? Is it?
Yeah. Yes. He's
Is
the most
Jalen
important
Milroe
player.
a playmaker? Is he a playmaker?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Is
Yes.
Okay.
You don't like him.
No, it's not that I don't like him, but to me, I get it. And everybody says, oh, he stuck it out and he did this and he did. That's fine. But you know what? He can't read a damn defense. I don't care what anybody says.
He did against
I
Vandy.
disagree. I disagree.
He did. He did. He did against Vandy.
He only had 1 quarter of playing time against Vandy.
I understand
Look,
that.
man, the guy's thrown 1 pick all
Okay,
year.
well, I get that, but here's what I'm asking. This is the thing.
He's thrown 2
Yes,
picks.
I get. He only had a quarter of playing time against Vandy, but why couldn't we move the ball?
Because we're not running the ball. That's why.
Exactly.
That's not on him.
We quit running.
No, it's not on him. But if you're saying if we'd run the ball, we'd move it.
And
Is he
apparently
really
we
the
got
best
dudes
player on the
beat
team?
up on
Is he
ball.
the best player on the team?
Yes.
He's
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
I know you're
I
gonna say
don't
Ryan
think-
Williams, but Ryan Williams is nothing without Jalen Milroe getting the ball to him. It's Jalen Milroe by landslide. Cotton wins. You lose, sir.
Not
Have a
really.
good evening.
Look,
Goodbye.
Not really. Not
Put
really.
Ryan
I'm just
Williams.
kidding.
Put Ryan Williams at Auburn, and you never hear his name called because Peyton Thorne couldn't get it in the ball.
All you got to do is throw it up right now to Ryan Williams. That's the thing.
I'm not saying he's
Ryan-
not.
Ryan
He's the
Williams,
best wide receiver
he's a
in the
playmaker.
country. The best wide
No,
receiver.
not according to anybody at Colorado. Not according to Travis Hunter's the best player in the country.
I think
Of
Travis
course.
Hunter is the best overall player in the country. Yes.
I don't know.
In the
I don't-
country, yes.
Put him on a different team, maybe.
I think he could do what he's doing at any school. I think he's
Yeah.
the best DB in the country. He's not the best wide
Right.
receiver in the country.
He's the best DB.
No.
He's a
But he
top
is
10
a
wide receiver in college
playmaker.
football, but he's not the best wide receiver
Yeah.
in college football. There's 2 freshmen in college football that are better than him at
No.
wide receiver. One's at Ohio State and the other one's at Alabama.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the NFL's gonna draft him and say, "Here's a bag of money. Where do you want to play? We're only going to play you on one side of the field. Pick it." And you
I
better
don't
pick
think it's going to be that way. He more than likely he's going to be a DB in the NFL.
Yeah, I agree.
Of course.
You know. That's it.
Well, all right, guys. That kind of
All right. Good night. Bye. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
We will, like I said, we will be back Saturday night with a live show. We got a lot of content coming your way, guys. Like I said, we just had to kind of iron out some stuff. I think we all kind of needed a little bit of a refresher.
Michael, he's been in concussion protocol. I talked to him yesterday. He was wearing a helmet.
Yes. And
yes,
coloring
Bill.
pictures.
Yes, Bill's been on a Maalox kick. He's been stopped up.
I'm clear now, though. I'm cleared out.
Yeah,
Oh, that's nasty.
maybe.
I had
As
a weekend
always.
of Army food.
You got okay, guys. You guys do the dang thing. Please make sure you're subscribed. Most of you are, but please share us with everybody. If you're in sports groups, chats, things like that, share a link. Tell them, hey, subscribe to these idiots. You'll love it. But that's going to do it. We'll see you guys Saturday night. Chris has been pumping out shorts, and they're pretty good. Chris's shorts are way better than mine. So make sure you're sharing those and giving those a like, too. Next show, everybody hashtag shut up, Bill. You know the drill. After dark, regular show on Thursday next week. Until then, as always, say your prayers, read your Bibles, wash your hands. Horns down. Beat Auburn.
And roll
And
Tide.
LSU. You didn't let me finish.
Shut up, Bill.
Tennessee.
And LSU. And Tennessee, too.
But not Vanderbilt.
Oh,
No.
roll Tide.
STF.
Roll that.